Poets active at the 17th century Arakanese court frequently used terms such as the Magadha Empire or Maghi era when talking about Arakan and Arakanese rule in Bengal. In portraying themselves as heirs to the Buddhist kings of Magadha, the Arakanese kings sought to legitimize their rule in southeastern Bengal. On the next slide, you can see another way in which kings such as Monpa made clear their right to Bengal. Here we can see the king with his Arakanese and Bengali wives on either side. The adoption of titles of Bengal sultans and Muslim names is another example of how Arakanese kings made clear their claim to kingship in Bengal. To illustrate this importance of Bengal for the success of the Mrau state, I propose today to do two things. First, I want to provide you with a glimpse of what I have come to call the 90 Years' War between the Mughal Empire and the Mrau Kingdom between, say, about 1574 and 1666. And second, I would like to discuss the economy of Arakan in the 17th century with you. I will now first take you to the reign of King Thirithodama Raja from 1622 to 1638. In 1623, 1 year after the young King Thirithodama came to the throne, the rebellious Mughal prince Shah Jahan came to Bengal, which served to destabilize the already weak Mughal position in Bengal. The unstable political situation in Bengal opened the gates for a series of devastating invasions by the Arakanese. Immediately following Shah Jahan's arrival in Dhaka in May 1624, an Arakanese embassy arrived to assure the rebellious prince of the sympathy of their king Thirithodama Raja. According to the Mughal chronicle Mirza Natham, the Arakanese king possessed about 10,000 warboats, 1,500 elephants, and, a bit exaggerated probably, 1 million infantry. On the next slide, you can see a mid-17th century drawing by a Dutch artist that depicts Arakanese gilias or warboats at sea near Pipli on the Orissa coast. The Arakanese embassy supposedly brought a peshkas or gift worth about 100,000 rupees, for which in return Thirithodama Raja received robes of honor and a firman confirming him in his territories. The grant of this firman has a certain irony to it. The entry of Shah Jahan into Bengal probably diverted attention from the defenses of the borders with Arakan, and it is clear that Thirithodama, despite the meek appearance of his ambassadors before the rebellious prince, in the beginning of his reign continued his father's campaigns into Bengal. Hendrik Lambrechts, a merchant from the Dutch East India Company, or VOC, reported in a letter to his superiors that in 1623 the young king Thirithodama returned to Arakan with no less than 30,000 Bengali slaves. The captives were described as strong and healthy, which the Dutch merchant attributed to the abundance of rice and food in Arakan. In the same letter, he described how the young king on the 4th of December 1623 paid him a visit aboard his VOC yacht. Thirithodama explained to the Dutch merchant that he was at that moment setting out for a new campaign into Bengal. This puts the friendly reception of the Arakanese ambassadors in Dhaka by Shah Jahan in May 1624 in a different perspective. It now seems that it was probably Shah Jahan who thought to profit most from a friendship with the powerful Arakanese Raja. After the 1623 raid, it seems that Thirithodama Raja in 1624, perhaps after his ambassadors had visited Shah Jahan in Dhaka, raided Balua and returning to Arakan with a rich booty. After the defeat of Shah Jahan by his father Jahangir, Mahabad Khan was installed by the emperor as Subadar of Bengal. and he left in turn his son Khanazad Khan as governor of Bengal. The extent of the Arakanese incursions after the departure of Shah Jahan is illustrated by a report by Jan van der Burg, a VOC merchant who was in Rau in December 1625. On the 5th of December 1625, Jan van der Burg described that the king had brought from Bengal again 10,000 slaves. According to the Dutch merchant, these slaves were the result of last year's campaign when Triyudhuddama Raja had conquered Sripur. Possibly because of the threat of Arakanese invasion, the new governor of Bengal, Khanazad Khan, did not reside at Dhaka. Khanazad installed deputies in Dhaka, and these deputies would be confronted with the full force of the Arakanese when the young king in 1626 marched on Dhaka. The Fathiya-i-Ibriya, a contemporary Mughal chronicle, describes how during their government Dhaka was sacked by